Please. This podcast convention. It's 11:12 p.m. Why are they still going? No. Stop. What in God's name? Suddenly, the buttons for this story are on the other side of the phone. That just happened right now. Did Instagram just change? Am I losing my mind? What's going on? So quick summary of the day. Just so this day is immortalized, because otherwise you don't remember your days. What did I do? I woke up at 7, kind of sweating and stuff. I'm like, ugh. And then got a text from my sister saying, are you still up? And I'm like, am I still up? What do you mean? I guess she means, am I up? I guess? I don't know. And I said, hey, yes, because she had said she was going to come over and go to Costco with my dad and get and play Scrabble. And so I thought, okay, you know what? I just better get up. But I won't go for a jog yet because maybe they'll come and, I can go for a jog this afternoon. So then I guess I was having breakfast. I finally went upstairs at 9:30 in my clothes. And then my dad's like, oh, you're up early. And I'm like, well, I've been texting with Diana. And he's like, yeah, well, her feet are bad. So she's not coming right now because she has Parkinson's and she never knows when her feet are going to seize up. So I was like, okay, well, that gives me time. So I went back downstairs and I guess just looked at emails again, still trying to plow through my emails. And then I guess he went out to get her. I think my mom came back from something. I'm trying to remember. No, I was in the basement because my sister texted me that I'm here, and I was still going through emails or doing something, or maybe watching that podcast conference. I was probably doing that. And then so I finally went upstairs. They were playing Scrabble. Yeah, because I brought the computer up and I was watching the podcast thing at the table while they were playing Scrabble. And then I guess eventually, I think my sister went down to nap for a bit and she was in the living room. And then on the couch. And then I guess that's when they were going to go to Costco. So I said, all right, I'll come along. Oh, no. I forgot. I went with my mom to my aunt's because she was picking up a couple of easels. So because she's doing an art show tomorrow and she wanted some stuff to display her art on. So I went with her and that was fun. And then we got gas at the gas station. So yeah, it was a fun little trip. And we were supposed to do tea and muffins. My sister kept saying, let's do tea and muffins. And she said that to me, and I'm like, where? She's like, here. And I'm like, oh, thank you. You're inviting me to be in the house where I live. And then my mom and Guy came back, and my mom's like, are they still here? Because we didn't know. Because sometimes Diana just needs to leave, once she starts getting anxious or Parkinson-ish, I guess, again. But I heard them watching TV. It sounded like they were watching Kim's Convenience. And then, so they were still here, and then they were going to go to Costco. So I'm like, you know what, I'll come with. So I went, and then Diana started getting bad in the car, so the plan was I would push her around in her wheelchair. So we went to Costco, and then, so I was pushing her around the wheelchair. My dad was getting groceries, and he showed me the list of what he was going to buy. He's like, don't buy these things. I'm like, toothpaste? We have 8 tubes of toothpaste under my mom's sink, so don't buy toothpaste. So he crossed that off. And then I was pushing my sister around the little electronics area, and I'm like, look at these TVs. They have giant 4K TVs for $700 or $500. It's ridiculous. So why am I even buying an Apple TV? But then I also saw they have Apple TVs, those little squares that I've been talking about buying, and they were, I guess, $270 or something. But I think, so I wasn't sure. I'm like, do I get one? I don't even know if I have space on a credit card, because I also wanted to get an Ecobee thermostat, and they have those. They have all these things that I want to buy. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And then I pushed Diana around, and we were looking for muffin mix. Couldn't find it. She had said she read in a gluten-free group that something like this existed. That was basically it. And then at some point, she just wanted me to push her near the door, so I just pushed her outside the cash register, and she sat there for a while. And then I moved her in another space, even further from people. And then I found my dad at the cash register. Oh, and in the car on the way there, my mom texted, "Where are you? And can I have your chocolate croissant?" I said, "I'm in the car at Costco, and yes, you can have the croissant." That's the one I bought at the bakery, I guess, yesterday or the day before. And then we came back, and my dad was telling stories about his grandfather and his great-grandfather, because he's done all this research. He wrote a book about it. he talks about his childhood because we passed apartments that he grew up in and that kind of thing. Um, and then, yeah, I was like, we need a book for my mom's side. And he's like, yeah, she's not really interested. We don't know anything about her family. And I'm like, that's so weird that I'll have all this information about my dad's family, but not my mom's side. Like, where did they come from? And then I was just thinking about that tonight. That, if I had kids now who are like 20 or something, they could read this information with me and then we'd have this history. But I might never have kids who will hear it. Or if I do, like in 20 years, who am I going to talk to them? Like, ugh, makes me just, ugh. Anyways, so we came back. I guess I came down to look at emails again, and then my mom texted, let's eat. So I was back upstairs. We had a nice dinner. There was the chicken we bought and hummus and pita, and even seaweed. So yeah, a lot. After a trip to Costco, it's like just a cavalcade of delicious foods. And then, I don't know. My mom left the table. She had to go finish an article that she's writing. And then I came downstairs I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch the podcast thing and go through my emails some more. So I was doing that. And then my dad, and he's like, can you help me with something on the computer? I'm like, can it wait like 14 minutes? I'm just watching the end of this. They were talking about Clubhouse, I think. He's like, okay, it can wait. But it's weird. He never calls me. It's not that urgent. It was late at night, so it was suspicious. So I go upstairs. I'm like, yes. He's like, I'm going to kill myself. I'm like, okay. And he's writing his memoir. And he's like, I don't know where it went. It's disappeared. I can't find it. All I've got is there's a PDF file, but it's like from weeks ago. It's not the latest version. And I'm like, well, where'd it go? Like, it's not. He's like, I don't know. I looked in the trash. I'm like, well, it just disappeared. It doesn't make any sense. So, anyways, long story short, for 20 minutes we're poking around, and then I'm searching the file name. He's like, well, can you search for words in the file? I was like, okay. So we tried like the opening line of the thing, and then I'm like, well, what is this file called? China Trip. And turns out he renamed the file the China Trip. And so he's like, now I'm not going to kill myself, or tonight at least. I'm like, oh, that's good. And he's like, oh man, I love you. And that's maybe the first time he's ever said that. So he was obviously very happy about this file situation. And he's like, oh yeah. And I said, yeah, and it's good. I like when bad things happen, but then you fix them, and then you're like, oh, you feel so much better than you did before. And he's like, yeah, I feel so good. I'm going to go to the bathroom now. I'm like, oh, okay, that's lovely. So, yeah, that's very cool. He's writing a memoir. And it made me just realize, like, wow, I mean, if I'd been keeping a diary, like, I don't remember. Sometimes I see photos and stuff when I'm going through my albums. I'm like, who are these people? When was this? So I don't have a record of anything. And it just makes me so sad. Like, why don't I have a daily record? Like, imagine my son being able to read the past 50 years and every day flip through and go, oh, look what dad did on this day. Ah, damn it. Darn it. You have to just keep going, right? Like, there's fun stuff. Like, even just watching these women today, like, there's three of them talking about Clubhouse and how excited they are and how they're gurus on it. And they've written a book on Amazon about it. And it's only been around. I think one of them's been on since August. So it's not that long. And yeah, there was a woman who's older than me. She's like older than 45, she said anyways. And yeah, they're still having fun. And so like, yeah, I mean, I could be in my little studio here broadcasting every day. So you just gotta do it. Because I mean, I hear about some guy today in the conference who was talking about productivity and stuff. He's told a story about how some business friend of his was like, I don't talk to my college age son. And he convinced him, go talk to him, do stuff with him. And he spent like a few months like doing amazing things with his son, catching up, doing all these things. And then at 55, he died of a heart attack. And the guy's like, if I hadn't told him to do that, he never would have had that time with his son. So, okay, so here's the thing. I could die of a heart attack tomorrow. I could live past 98, or maybe, by the time I'm 70, they'll have cured death and I'll live to 200 or 2 million. You don't know. So just got to keep enjoying every day, I guess. So that's the plan. And then my mom's got the art show tomorrow, so I want to go with her and set up the art. And I'd like to take pictures of the art she's doing. So I guess I'll go to bed now because she was, even when I was upstairs at 9:30 helping my dad, the door was closed. She was asleep. She's so smart. She goes to sleep early and she's up at like 6 or 5 or who knows what, going to the gym and stuff. So we should all be asleep. Oh, here's my question of the night. Are you on Clubhouse? I think I'm going to start doing it every day. They said you got to early adopt it. You've got to, it's a chance to get in early on something and become, you can get big on it. And you can record your stuff now. So you could be doing a room every day and putting up as a podcast on YouTube. I think I'm going to do that. We could have discussions together. So that's cool. Go follow me.